Thank you, sir.
Can we take another half an hour to 45 minutes? Guys? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Can we take another 30 to 45 minutes?
Yeah, sir.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sure. So the silence of others, I think I take it in a positive way. We Yeah, I am just holding you all because you all think after attending the session, attending the session, you can be able to work for a restaurant or a flight kitchen or some star hotels. Do you hear me? Hello.
Your voice is breaking a bit, sir.
Yeah. So do you think after attending this class, you are good enough to handle a restaurant or a quality assurance department of a restaurant or a flight kitchen or a star hotel?
Yeah, to a certain extent, sir, but more training would be required.
Yeah.
In-depth knowledge is needed.
Yeah. So I just want to share you my own experience with you people. Maybe it may help you in future. Can you able to see my presentations, PPT?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I just want to so usually as a microbiologist, most of them are microbiologists, correct? Correct.
Yes, sir.
Most of them are microbiologists, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I usually tell people that if you study microbiology, we microbiologists, I'm also microbiologist. So we used to think that um microbiology means you people tell me what the thing it comes in your mind when you tell microbiologist, or if you are studying microbiology, or when you finish your microbiology course, what you are assuming that what will be there for you in the market, in a job market.
Sir, you're referring to the scope, right, sir?
Correct.
Most of us will
So
have
what? Yeah, there is two questions. There is a two question I asked. The minute you tell microbiology, I'm studying microbiology, what is the imagination you have in your mind? And the second question is, after you finish your microbiology, what will be your expectation? What will be, you think that, what are the opportunity you get in a market, job market? Two questions I'm asking you. Okay, let me tell you. When I was studying microbiology, BSc and MS microbiology, I was thinking that I will be working in a laboratory and finding some bacteria, detecting some bacteria and testing it and finding it, and to a biochemical and species level. This is what I had the imagination when I was studying. Correct?
Yes, sir.
1 years or 15 years? One years or 15 years?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes,
one
sir.
slow SS come, another one slow SS come, some breaking SS come. Okay, so this is what we are thinking, that detecting bacteria, and we say that we say that to our people, maybe the company people, sir, we have find one bacteria for you. Actually, in a food industry, that is not going to work for us. As a microbiologist, in a food industry, that is not going to work for us. Why means? Why means? Lot of investment is put to create a food, to manufacture a food. Correct? Crores money will be invested to produce Horlicks, to produce Boost, to produce Archie masalas, Eastern masalas, Ruchi pickles, Priya pickles, RTE foods, Britannia biscuits, Nutri Choice, Parley, Pepsi, Coke. Correct? People invest money. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I want everybody's participation. Otherwise, this session it's not going to be a good one. I want everyone has to participate and understand what I want to tell you. So just assume that you are working in a flight catering. Okay, you have detected some coliform or salmonella, and if you tell your GM, the general manager of the company, sir, I have found bacteria, whether he will definitely happy with you?
Definitely not.
Definitely no. So in food industry, microbiologist has to play a role apart from his lab activities. Like, you know, you see in the presentation, a routine job check. One has to get down on the field and go and check the personal. You just now, Mr. Binu told what is personal hygiene, what is cleanliness. Correct? We know as a theoretical and knowledge. This has to be get down on the field. The person, the microbiologist of the lab, of the unit, of the restaurant, of the flight catering should get down on the field and go around and check the staff and check the equipment and check the cold rooms, freezers, chillers, and the stored food products. So he should have a list of jobs to be do or check. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So by doing this, you will stay ensured you will stay ensured your products are safe. The manufactured food is safe. Second thing is training the staff. Whatever the knowledge you acquired, you gain, you have to impart them by training to the staff. You should have a plan saying, you should have a list of training titles. You have, just in this same session, you would have come across a lot of titles called cross contamination. That is lot of mode of in process, in many modes, the cross contamination will happen. You understood?
Yes.
You understood?
Yes, sir.
So to stop the cross contamination or to stop the bacteria entering into the product, the main goal of microbiologists in a food industry is not detecting the bacteria. It is more than that you prevent the bacteria getting into the food. It is a preventive action in a food industry. I'm not telling that lab is not important. Lab is important. But saying that we have detected bacteria, it's not going to fetch you money or salary. Of course, we are studying for what? I think I expect somebody will tell reply. We are studying for what?
To detect the microbes, sir.
To detect the microbes. No, we are studying to earn. Tomorrow we have to go for a job. We have to take care of the family. We need to have good property. Correct. Okay. For that we need to acquire knowledge according to the atmosphere. In a food industry, if you take in a pharmaceuticals or in a medical microbiology laboratory like in a Apollo Hospital, Niyad Hospital, Ramachandra, if you detect a microorganism, you will be appreciated. If you detect the if you not prevent the microbes in a food industry, then it will go and sit on the food and it will spoil and it will create smell and it will create bulging. So when the food gets spoiled, bulging and gets bad smell, whether the customer will get the food, ultimately the business will go down. Correct. Ultimately the business will go down.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So it is more important for a microbiologist to play in the lab and also to play out of the lab across a cross-functional team. There are many teams in a unit, in a restaurant or in a flight catering. In your college or in your university, there are different departments: biochemistry, chemistry, biology, botany, zoology, physiotherapy, then engineering. Like that, in a restaurant or in a flight catering, in a food industry, there are a lot of cross-functional teams out there. Production team will be there. You will be in a laboratory, quality assurance team. There will be purchase team. There will be a accounts team. There will be production team. There will be operation team. There will be kitchen team. So as a teamwork, because if anyone makes a mistake, it will have impact on your food. Correct. If a store
Yes, sir.
person or a receiving person doesn't know the FSSA requirement saying that he has to see the manufacturing date, he has to receive a non-dented can, he has to receive a fresh fruits, fresh vegetables. After then, he has to store in accordingly the temperatures. Frozen food has to be stored in a frozen temperature, and chilling foods has to be stored in chilling temperature. So he should, if he doesn't know, for example, this person doesn't know the requirement of the food law, will he able to contribute? Will be act as a food handler or food safety member?
No, he won't.
So we should, as a microbiologist, you should have a training plan and also should be able to improve our communication to talk with we should have a braveness and should have a guts to talk with other departments saying that this is not our cup of tea. We need to meet the complaints of the international food law, food safety. We should be able to tell. When we will tell, when we acquire the knowledge and when we import the training for the staff present in the unit, we will have a brave and guts to tell the head of the departments saying that this is not the right thing, this is the right thing, so we need to follow. Otherwise, people will start their own law. They will not implement or they will not start follow the food law. They will start their own law and they will end up in problems. We will end up in the problem. Team will end up in the problem and the business will go down. So coordination with the cross-functional team is very, 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 very important. Third thing, the documentation or record keeping. You know, we said we need to see temperature of the food. We said minus 18 degree is a frozen temperature. Okay. Then we said chilling temperature is 1 to 5 degrees centigrade. Okay. So there should be a record saying that record is evidence of monitoring activity. You understood? If no one is monitored, the storage practices at whatever the food has to be stored as per the requirement, if it is not monitored properly, the food will remain in the same place and FIFO will file and FIFO will file. So documentation, record or the evidence of monitoring activity saying that someone is really putting effort to finding all these laws getting compliant with our day-to-day activity. So record keeping has to be, that also has to be trained by the microbiologist across the department, kitchen staff, then stores people, then people who gets the food from the unit to a flight. In flight catering, the food is produced in the unit and then it is packed in the adjacent area called operation unit, and then it is taken to the flight in a chilled or a freezer vehicle. So when all this coordination happens with the department heads and the documentation are all maintained, we know if anything goes wrong, we come to know, yes, this is the wrong what we have done, we have to rectify it. Understand? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hello. Once the problem is found out, if say some problem has happened, food spoilage has happened, as a microbiologist, if definitely, as a microbiologist, someone or somebody will get irritated or may get angry also. To keep aside those feelings and get into a systematic approach called continuous improvement. Under continuous improvement, small group activity should be planned. What is small group activity? A group of people has to be chosen or randomly chosen, or you can plan five people as a group or 6 people as a group from each department and take them and give the problem saying that how this spoilage has been occurred, and tell me what are the possibility, what are the possible causes that has happened because of that the food has gone spoiled. We have only 2 eyes, the 2 people will have 4 eyes and they have 2 brains, And when we increase the people, lot of brains and lot of eyes is going to improve, and lot of ideas are going to come into your basket. And if we start working on those problems, definitely the unit, the food producing, the catering department or hospitality establishment will have a safe food. You agree with me or not? You agree with me or not?
Yes, sir.
You are all understand? Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
உங்களுக்கு எல்லாருக்கும் புரியுதா நான் என்ன சொல்றேன்னு? How to handle a problem? When a problem comes, usually we get panic. Instead of getting panic, put the problem in a system. The system will take care. Give it to many people, so that they will start seeing the things in different dimension. You will solve the problem easily. You got my point?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So the main thing is, there is a process called calibration. Anybody knows about what is calibration? Can anybody tell what is calibration? Can anybody tell?
Bringing
Calibration.
something to an operational state, sir.
Pardon. Little bit loudly tell.
Bringing something to an operational state, sir. Like calibrating a machine to work properly in a given condition.
Any other? Anyone can? Any other people can tell, please? வேற யாராவது சொல்ல முடியுமா? What is calibration? Hello. Hello. Akshaya, what is calibration? Jabran?
Sir.
What is calibration? Vasan? Okay, I will give you a small, small example. So in your laboratory, there is incubator, correct? One is operating maybe at 37 degrees centigrade. One may be operating at 24 degrees centigrade for eastern mode, correct? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So we need to know whether this 37 degree, which is indicated in the indicator, you can see in the indication, or by using the thermometer available in the laboratory itself, you can see the temperature inside the incubator, whether it is 37 or 24, by using our internal thermometer. To verify this thermometer and the equipment incubator, whether it is correctly showing or correctly functioning at 37 degrees centigrade or at 24 degrees centigrade, with respect or with against the NABL certified thermometers, or NIH, National Institute certified thermometers. Like, there are many companies available in Chennai and in surrounding areas, like, In situ and Nachman, these people are these people do calibration of any instrument, whichever, with respect to the temperature, like cold, chill, and heat, and in scales like a liter, then in weights, kgs. If you you know if you would have seen some lorries carrying load, it will go on a way bridge, then they will give a slip that the lorry is carrying this much of weight, correct? That weight scale has to be calibrated against the National Institute certified or NABL certified weighing equipments. So you are calibrating your instrument. For example, when you are going to work in a restaurant or in a hotel, you may have cold rooms. One may be operating at -18, one may be operating at 0 to 5. So when the frozen material is put into the cold room, it should be rock solid. When you put the food inside, for example, if you put a chicken inside a cold room, -18 degree, maybe within 6 or 8 hours, it will go into rock solid. Means the cold room is definitely working, but it is not still guaranteed that you are operating the cold room at -18 degrees centigrade. Only when you calibrate the cold room against a standard measurement which is available with these people, calibration doing people, then you will come to know, yes, my cold room is functioning at perfect temperature. You know what happens? Sometimes, the indicator will show -18. Maybe the food will also solid rock. But when you start calibrating, if you ask the people to come and calibrate your cold room, the indication is maybe show -18. The calibrator who will test whether it is -18 or not may also go wrong. Maybe it will be -10 also. Nothing will happen at -10, but if your frozen food is allowed to store for 4 months or 6 months at -18, if you store this product, frozen food, at -18, -10 for 6 months, it will go spoiled. You understood the importance of calibration and what is calibration?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So it's very, very important, it's very, very important to calibrate our instrument, which we are using, which you are all going to use in future, So it has to be calibrated and kept alerted so that you can produce safe food. So whatever I told, routine job checks, training the staff, documentation and record keeping, calibration, continuous improvement, and SGA, small group activity, coordination with cross-functional team, minutes of meeting. I think I have not told minutes of meeting. It's nothing but, when you do continuous improvement or small group activity, or you call for a meeting across the cross-functional team present in the unit, whatever you discuss with them, you have to minute it, because you are in a business, you are working in a place. If it is not that you tell orally and leave, they tell orally and leave, everything put it in a white and black, then it will also become a record, and it will be useful to follow in future, and it will become a reference. You understood? Hello? Hello? You understood?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, and one more thing I need to just wanted to tell you, in the name of documentation, I want to tell you, documentation is a very, very important nowadays. You know, when you go and work in big companies like ITC, Ramada, Trident, Lee Meridian, then big Soda, Taj, Taj Flight Catering, Oberai's Flight Catering, and maybe there is some hospitality that I don't remember that name wrong. Radhakrishna, yeah, Radhakrishnan in Mumbai. So very big, like we have in South Coimbatore, I think Sangeeta is there, Annapurna is there, correct? So these are big companies, When you go, you will find a name called ISO 22000 and ASAP, which requires really documentation. So A to Z, whatever you do, you have to write it. That's all. ரஜினிகாந்த் சொல்ற மாதிரி தான் நான் எதை சொல்லணும் செய்வேன் எதை செய்யணும் அதை சொல்லுவேன் அது மாதிரி I'm just telling the cinema dialogue, that's all, nothing more than that. So whatever you tell, you write it, that is documentation. That is very, very important for ASAP and ISO 22000 implementation. So what a document should have, it should have the title of the it should have the title, and it should have the revision number, and it should have the date of issue, and it should have who has written this procedure, or who has documented it, and who has reviewed it, and who has released it. That's all. The document should have all these details, so that there will not be a duplicate document. For example, simply if you for simplicity, I can tell you an example. House patta, house patta. It's a document. So it has got all the standard regulatory requirements, like a stamp paper, and will be date, and the stamp paper who has issued, he will sign there. So in many of the cases, the duplication of the same patta can be avoided. Of course, it happens in malpractices, but still, we will be confident that we have a valid document in our hand. So like that, when you are working in a, hello, what happened? Hello, who is this? Shall I continue? Hello, shall I continue? Hello. So this is called documentation. Okay. So these are things I just want to share with you, because when we study microbiology, we think that microbiology is just confined to a laboratory. It is not only about laboratory, confined to laboratory. Microbiology has a big role, and lot of roles and responsibility, and a lot of money is going to come in your package when you go as a food microbiologist in future. So I just want to share one more document with you. So these are the topics you can use for training the staff when you go and work at in the hospitality industry.
Hello.
Receiving procedure, washing procedure, what is storage, preparation of pre-preparation, then cooking, serving. You should be able to train people on this, cleaning and sanitation, CCPs, color coding, danger zone, personal hygiene, So these are the topics, you should be able to train the people, and people will definitely get the knowledge and they will participate in your team and you will get benefit. So as a microbiologist, when you do all these things, the business will go long, run for a long time, and your customers will stay with you, and you will decrease the food safety hazards, and your food safety standard will be increased, and you will ensure the compliance with the regulatory norms, and your food quality will increase, and your name definitely you will get very good reputation. Here I have just here I have mentioned a name called internal audit. Have you able to see this internal
Yes,
audit?
sir.
Yeah. So
Yes, sir.
you people, before you go for work, try to complete this internal auditor course so that you will come to know what are the things you have to check, or how you have to act in a food 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 industry, not only in hospitality industry, like catering. Food industry is a big, hospitality industry means it contains only catering businesses. Food is a big market, like packaged food is there, bottled food is there, then restaurant comes under the food, so it will be useful for you to understand what the international law is telling about food. So just we will refer this one more troubleshooting manual before we wind up. Are you able to see one troubleshooting manual? Can you able to see the troubleshooting manual?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Just now I was talking about how should the document should be correct. This is a document. This is a perfect document. You see the name of the paper. The name of the manual is given, troubleshooting manual, in the left corner. The top of the left corner, it is given as troubleshooting manual. And what the manual is about: restaurant quality management system. And it has got issue number 1.0, issue date 28/10/2016. And how many pages it has? Page 1 to 7 it is there, and it should have the synopsis or so. During when you work for the industry in a catering business, these are the possible things, problems can occur when you start working in a hospitality industry. Like problem of spoilage of chicken. Second is vegetable gets shrinking vegetables, and bad smell coming from drainage, sticky under table, guest table or working table inside the kitchen, sticky table mat. If you dine in a restaurant, nowadays you see you can see a mat will be there, So sometimes it will be sticky also. Why it is sticky? So we'll discuss it. Then eggshell in food. When you take some omelette or egg Sometimes, eggshell will also come in the omelets. So how to overcome these problems? Then food poisoning, why the food poisoning is happening? Cross contamination, how cross contamination happens, and white patches in cutleries. When you dine, they keep fork, spoon, plate. Sometimes there will be some white patches. So how those things comes? And white patches on SS table in kitchen, rusting inside the water tanks, patches and sand, bits on sofa, flower, maybe pieces of flowers on sofa, raw food or undercooked food. Sometimes it comes raw, even though they cook. Sometimes some customer gets undercooked or raw food, worms in food, dusty top racks, rancid smell in food, floor damages, food stain on table mat, fishy smell in water glass, garlic or ginger smell in juices, blood smell in juice, chicken pieces in red salad, slimy layer in mixie, back of the the mixie jar. You can see a bush is there. If you invert the mixie jar, there will be some slimy layer will be there. So the next is black patches in exhaust hoods, rust on reverse side of the cutting table, foul smelling cloth. So these are the problems, repeatedly it will come when you go work in a hospitality industry. So let us see one by one. Spoiled chicken. Chicken gets spoiled on these 6 possible causes. Maybe other causes will be there, but mainly on these 6 points, chicken goes spoiled. Maybe the chicken transported after slaughtering, 2-3 hours after, when it is served to the restaurant or the restaurant kitchen, it may go spoil. It may give smell. Chicken exposed to direct sunlight during transport from vendor to restaurant, overload of freezer. For example, in many restaurant, in many restaurant, they use freezer. What you see in a ice cream shop. The ice cream which is stored under the freezer, what the temperature it should have? Guys, can you tell what the temperature it should have when the ice cream is stored in the freezer?
-18.
Very good. So because that type of freezers, ice cream freezers, gives -18 degree centigrade, it is widely used for storing foods in many restaurants, and it is successfully done also. But thing is, if it is overloaded, if you open the freezer, you can see a blue line inside the freezer from the top, maybe some 3 to 4 inches down. There will be a blue line saying that don't store above this. Means if somebody stores above that blue line, means they are over dumping. When it is over dumping, the food is the chicken or some food is over dumped inside the freezer, there will not be uniform chilling or freezing happening in the chicken. Because of uniform freezing or chilling is not happening, the food will go spoil. The chicken will go spoil. You know what is danger zone? Anybody know what is danger zone? I want.
Yes, sir. The favorable condition where the organism grows rapidly.
The favorable temperature at which the organism goes is not danger zone for organism, but danger zone for food. Correct?
Yes, sir. For food, it is a danger zone.
You should talk like a food microbiologist, not like a medical microbiologist. You are again supporting the bacteria microorganism. You should talk in respect of the food. Danger zone is a zone where the food is kept above 5 degree, below 60 degree. If the food is kept within this temperature, then the food is under danger zone. Then whatever you told, no, the bacteria will grow. It will grow in this danger zone only. So it has to be kept below 5 degree and above 60 degree. The food will be safe. Simple. Correct. So when this freezer is overloaded, when these freezers are overloaded, the food will not get below 5 degree. So it will be above 5 degree. That means the food is in Tambaram, Mylapore. Let me see who tells where it is. Hello?
Danger zone, sir.
Yeah,
Danger
tell me.
zone, sir.
What is that?
The food is in the danger zone.
Correct. Very good. Correct. It is danger zone. So if it is in danger zone, if you serve this to your customer, the customer will start get fever, food poison, loose motion, headache, and whatever we can say that will happen to him. So instead of paying some 1,000 rupees after eating your food, he will go and pay to the doctor at least 3,000 to 5,000 rupees to get a IV injection, IV trips, and get admitted for a day or two and get well. Then we'll say that get well soon. Correct. So the chicken goes spoilage when we overload freezer. So I was telling about documentation. You remember, it's a process of recording the monitoring activity. Documentation is nothing but a process of recording the monitoring activity. The number fourth point, power failure. When the power is failed, if anybody not monitor the freezer, not monitor the chiller, if the power goes failure, then the current will go, the cold room will go off, the temperature of the cold room will increase, again the food is moved to danger zone. So when we train a people who receive, and we will ask them to document the temperature of the food at the receipt and at the storage. So we should have a chart displaying at the entrance of the cold room or at the freezer and in the receipt area, saying that with in a correct frequency, maybe in once in 2 hours or 3 hours, one guy should go and see the digital temperature and physically check the temperature of the food which is lying inside the cold room, and note it and record it on the paper which is displayed or pasted in the entrance of the cold room or the freezer. So when someone does this, so somebody will go once in 2 hours or once in 3 hours to go and see whether the cold room is working or not working. This problem, if even the power gets failure, then the guy or the responsible person will come to know that the freezer is not working. Now we have to move the chicken or the food which is lying inside the cold room to safer zone, because it is moving to the danger zone. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Same thing applies. Documentation procedure and training the staff applies for 4th, 5th, and 6th point. So these are the 6 points. May leads the food or the raw meat to get spoiled. So I'm moving to second point. Let me ask you, do you have any, because you know, these things will never come in your books. I'm just sharing my experience. You have anything to say? You have any doubt? No doubt.
No doubt, sir.
No doubt. So we should have backup for power failure. I just typed it. Are you all able to see that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we should have backup for failure, any failure, power failure. So we'll have the generators, correct? The generator should get on itself within 10 seconds of power failure. This is the thumb rule for food safety. Got my point? You got my point?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, when the power goes, the generator should on automatically within 10 seconds. This is the standard thumb rule in food safety. So when you go and implement ISO 22000 in the hospitality industry, this will be a main point, because your cold room, your freezer are the heart for the food safety. Okay, so we'll go to vegetable ring. Why the vegetables get shrink? One may be not checked during receiving, dried to FIFO, not followed. See, I think in the previous training, Mr. Binu showed you. There was a cage, grilled cage, where the vegetables are dumped. He was showing in his presentation, correct? You remember? There was a bottom. Let me see. I have this. I have. I think. Let me. Are you able to see some new one? Vegetable washing heading.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I just want to show you. Yeah. The left you see onions are stored in the cage, correct?
Yes, sir.
Same thing Mr. Binu showed in the front shot. He showed in the front shot. In this type of onion cages will have a door in the bottom, because you know, when we procure onion from the market, restaurants procure onions maybe 25 kg, 50 kg, and they dump in this cage. Maybe you know, they will not wait till it gets over. Within 2 or 3 days, another 50 kg they will put on the same onion, because you know, there will be a place constraint. And if you put in this type of cages, and in this type of cages, there is a bottom door from where you can draw the onions, so the FIFO can be followed. For example, Monday you got 50 kgs. First you dumped in these cages, and in Thursday again you got in 50 kgs and you dumped. totally, now there will be 100 kgs. So 50 kg what you have dumped, it will be in the bottom. So that will be taken first. After then the Thursday one, whatever you have got, no 50 kg, that will be taken the next. The FIFO will be followed systematically. So these are the, if these things are not followed, in case of onion, in case of capsicum, in case of beans, in case of mushroom, in case of mushroom. So in lot of perishable vegetables, spring onions, okay. So what happens is it will go shrink because of loss of moisture. It will go shrink. So FIFO will help. FIFO will help to maintain this. One second. One second. So if FIFO is not followed, the vegetables go shrink. And dry to exposure to high temperature in the kitchen, prolonged storage in direct sunlight. So when vegetables are not fresh, the taste will go different and they go towards spoiling stages. So again, it may get spoiled. Bad smell from drainage is a third point. Maybe a blockage. All vegetables and operational waste dumped into drainages. Drainage cleaning not done on daily basis. The second point is the main point. All vegetables and operational waste dumped into drainages. Because if the kitchen staff is not provided with dust bin, where they will put it, they will put on the drainages. They will put on the floor. When the hygiene team come and sweep, it will dump into the drainage. So ultimately the drainage will get blocked and smelling will start. So dustbin for each section is very, very important. Like now India is moving towards Swachh Bharat. Sticky under tables are not washed after closing. What happens? Sometimes maybe the business goes at maybe at 1 o'clock or maybe at 2 o'clock also. Some people have 24 hours delivery. So after the night, the people goes very tired and they will humans it's not a machine, it's a human body. It will get tired and they will relax on cleaning. The next morning when they come, maybe they will get forget, and this will be, the table will be very sticky. The table mat, fifth point also same thing, table mat may be sticky. For these things only I told in the presentation, the microbiologist is not a job confined only to the laboratory. They should have a routine check where these points has to be included in the list and should start checking. Once you start checking, you will be the boss of the unit. Some complaints like eggshell in food. When they put omelette, when the eggshell will go along with the omelette, with the egg. So when the guest gets the eggshell when eating, it will not be a good experience of eating a food. So using a filter will block the eggshells getting into the food. Seventh point is a food poisoning. Improper hand washing after toilet use. Washing facility has no water, sanitizer, disposable towel, staff illness, undercooked foods, staff lack of food safety training. So these are the main problems. These are the main problems which will lead to food poisoning. Of course, again the first point, whatever we discussed, no, the chicken gets spoiled. These points also cause the 1 to 6 points also cause the food or the chicken or the meat or the vegetables causing food poison. Cross contamination. Can anybody tell what is cross contamination? Hello?
Contamination of
Ah.
food from another food or from the food handlers or the materials, like the contamination the food getting contaminated through any means, basically.
Yeah. Okay. Let me put in another way, saying that voluntarily or involuntarily. தெரிஞ்சு குடிச்சாலும் விஷம் தான், தெரியாம குடிச்சாலும் விஷம் தான். கரெக்டா?
Yes.
கரெக்ட் தானே?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So by means of voluntary or involuntary, the contaminants getting into a non-contaminate place, non-contaminate food, is a cross contamination. For example, the chef cooks the food at 100 degrees. Take vegetable biryani. When water boils, they put rice, correct? When water start boiling, we put rice, correct? For making rice or veg biryani or any food, correct? Correct? Tappa. Hello?
Yes, sir. Correct, sir.
So water boils at 100 degrees centigrade. Now all the microbe has got killed. Now the food, whatever we have prepared, it is almost near to this sterilizing temperature, 100 degree. Now the food is very safe. If a person comes without washing hand, he has a bacteria in his hand, voluntarily or involuntarily, if he touches the non-contaminated food, he is introducing a new bacteria to the food. This is cross contamination. So unhygienic practices like veg and non-veg kept along in same freezer, like French fries in non-freezer, like curd kept in non-veg freezer. Veg and non-veg, because veg is, it's not blood stained, but non-veg blood stained should not be kept in the same freezer or one on above one. It should not be kept together. Second point is improper washing of hands after using toilets, eating or smoking. Cutting board, color code not followed. You know what is cutting color board? Cutting board, color code. What is what is cutting board? Do you know what is cutting board? Hello? Hello? Do you know what is cutting board?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know the color code of cutting board as led by FSSAI? Jabran is there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, tell me who is there?
So non-veg meats should be used like a separate knife and cutting board for meats. And
want-
for vegetables,
I
separate.
want
separate.
I want to tell the color code of the
Color,
cutting board.
okay.
Color.
1 second, sir.
Sir, red is for meat,
Ah,
and green is for vegetables and salads,
ah,
and blue is for seafoods,
ah.
and white is for bakery products,
Milk products.
milk products,
அவ்வளவுதானா?
and brown is for cooked foods.
Brown is for
Cooked foods.
Raw foods. Raw foods.
Raw.
அப்போ yellow எதுக்கு யூஸ் பண்ணுவாங்க?
Ready
Yellow.
to ready
Yellow,
to
yellow.
cook.
Ready to eat.
Yellow.
Yellows. Ready to eat cooked foods only, sir.
Yellow. மஞ்சள் கலர்.
அதான் sir. Ready to eat cooked foods, yellow color.
எங்க பார்த்து சொல்றீங்க? Okay, let me tell you. Okay. Assorted red is for raw meat. கவனமா கேட்கலாமா? Red is for raw meat. Blue is for seafood. Yellow is for cooked food. Brown is for FSSI has revised this color coding and introduced a new color code called brown cutting board. This is for cutting unwashed vegetables and for gravy vegetables. Green is for vegetables which is used for salads and fruits cutting. White is for dairy products. Over. You have any doubt in this? Do you have any doubt in this?
No, sir.
நான் இங்க டைப் பண்ண பாருங்க. Yellow, green, brown, white. Jabran is there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So now they have revised Jabran. Green is
Yes, sir.
no more only for vegetables. Green is for students. Just listen. Green is for salad consuming vegetables and fruits. They have just categorized vegetables into two. One is cutted in brown, one is cutted in green. Because green, they cut only salad vegetables because it is like a ready to eat food. That will not, the definition for ready to eat food. The definition of ready to eat food is it has no more, after cutting, it has no more processing like heating, frying, or any other mode of preserving. It is when it cut, it is intended for consumption immediately. So to avoid cross contamination, to avoid the reduction of to avoid the load of microbes and reduction of microbes and getting contaminants entering into the ready to eat food which has not got any other mode of treatment like heat or chill or cold or any mode of preservative, is allotted specially to take care specially this cutting board green color. Okay. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So the fourth point is improper daily weekly sanitation. When we say your kitchen is sanitized, sanitation has different type of sanitation. One is daily, one is weekly, another is fortnightly, another is monthly, another is once in 3 months. These all this has to be planned by a microbiologist only. Plant sanitation has to be planned by the microbiologist only. Daily cleaning is done routinely. Weekly sanitation of all the equipments in the kitchen has to be cleaned and sanitized with special detergents, which will reduce or remove high grease particles or materials sticking under or in the reverse side of the equipments. புரியுதா? புரியுதா? I told daily
Yes,
is routine, weekly is done with a special type of sanitation detergent, which will remove high greasy, because they put oil for frying. This oil will go and sit on the hoods. This oil, this food may be, fall in backside of the ranges, tables, and sometimes there will be in the reverse side of the tables, there will be, spillages. These things will be, very greasy and very slimy, and this will not go in a normal soap solution. It has to be treated with a specialized detergents recommended by, like, Ecolab is there, Unilever is there. These are the companies which offers good and food grade detergents for daily and weekly sanitation and removing the high grease materials. So one is, I told, daily, weekly, and fortnightly. Fortnightly, we need to plan fortnightly. What are the things has to be sanitized fortnightly, monthly, once in 3 months, like, overhead tanks has to be cleaned once in 3 months, and it should be chlorinated. Okay, so fifth point is chlorination not done for vegetables and chicken. Chlorination, what is the ppm?
100 to 200, sir.
100 ppm is for non-veg. 50 ppm is for veg.
Which
Yeah. So you know how it is calculated? What is ppm?
parts
Yeah.
per million.
Good. How it has to be calculated? Suppose you want to make 50 ppm in a 500 liters of water. Water capacity is 500 liter, and what you need is 50 ppm. Okay. You know what is the strength of this chlorine solution available in the market? It is 5%. So you need to convert the percentage into ppm. So if you convert 5% into ppm, it is 50,000. So then you will get some number here saying that, I'm just saying, யாராவது calculator வச்சிருக்கீங்களா? You have any calculator over there? Can you tell how much it is? Can anybody tell how much it is? 500 into 50, 25,000 divided by 50 equal to 0.5.
1/2.5, sir.
0.5 வருதமா?
Yes, sir.
0.5 திருப்பி என்ன பண்ணணும்? Again you have to multiply into 1000. எவ்வளவு வரும்?
500.
500, if you take 500 ml of chlorine solution and put it in 500 liters of water, you will get 50 ppm of chlorine. You got the point? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I want to tell something, you know. Forgot. Okay, I got it. So, you know, we are telling chlorination, chlorine solution. What is the correct name for that? Anybody knows what is it? What is it? Chemical name? Chlorine கொடுங்க அப்படின்னு படிக்காதவங்க கேட்கலாம். We are all graduates. What we have to tell? Sodium hypochlorite. Okay. So now again go to documentation. When you receive chlorine, it should accompany with MSDS sheet. Any chemical when you receive, like detergents, chlorine, acid, it should accompany, even the pesticides, it should accompany with MSDS sheet, material safety data sheet. What it contains is, it contains what are the proper method to store, or if any hazard happens, how to handle, and what is the strength of the chemical, and how to store it. These are the information will be available in the MSDS solution, MSDS sheet. So when you receive chlorine, you should also receive MSDS sheet. So if there is a chicken storage problem, again, you know, 7th point refer about chicken spoilage. So all these points 1 to 7 will cause cross contamination. I will spare it more. Sorry, I'm taking more time. I'll spare it. White patches in cutlery, because you know, if the soap oil is not used at 1:5 ratio, or as per the manufacturer recommendation, or if the water is if the water is very hard, then it will, you know, there will be a water stains on the cutlery, and you know, when the guests dine in the dine, they will feel the cutlery, you know, it is not new, it is a very old, and you know, they have not cleaning properly, hygiene is not good. So all these thoughts will come in the guest mind, and they will never turn up to and they will never turn up to dine. So the business will go down. So 10th point, white patches on SS table in kitchen, same thing. 11th is rusting inside the water. You know, in restaurant they give water. Most probably, you know, nowadays they're giving the water bottle, but in many restaurants they give in a water. They will come and they will have a jar and they will pour in the glass. They take this water into the jug from a water cooler. That water cooler, you know, is made up of SS. If you open and see the SS tank, if it's not properly sanitized, cleaned and sanitized, the rusting will be happen inside the water tank. That may cause problem for the guest and for us also. And even, you know, in summer, water tanks comes and dump the water in the sump, restaurant sump or hotel sump. So the tank, the inside the tank, there should not be rusted. If rusted is happening in the tank, lorry tank, inside the lorry tank, the water will again get contaminated. So patches and sand floor beads of sofa, because you know, in Sundays, you know, people go to beaches, and you know, wherever they want, they go, they come to a restaurant, they dine, they go to home. If the restaurant doesn't, you know, they will carry sand, they you know, they have flour, you know, when they sit and dine, maybe this sand, maybe the flour pieces will fall on the sofa. If it is not cleaned in the night routine cleaning, these sand and flower bits will be on the sofa in the next day also. These are the indication that the routine cleaning is not taking care. Raw food or undercooked food. Possible causes are temperature SOP not followed. What is the temperature SOP? It should, any food, it should be heated above 75 degrees centigrade, and core temperature not checked. What is core temperature? Do anybody knows what is core temperature? Yarka Terima, what is core temperature? Hello? Hello? What is core temperature? Satya? Subhashni? Swati? Vasant?
So the exact temperature at which the food is either stored or is the correct temperature the food is cooked. Like for example, if the correct temperature, core temperature for the cooked food is 70 degrees Celsius, 72. So that is the core temperature, sir.
No, ma. Actually, no. The thickest
Yeah.
part of the food, the thickest part of the food should reach the temperature what you said, no. The thickest part. For example, if you take one what I can say, let me give you an example of chicken. You know, it is a flesh. It should be the temperature should be seen at the thickest middle part of the flesh. If the thickest middle portion shows 74 degrees centigrade, then the temperature has reached the full flesh. The core is nothing but the thickest part of the middle portion of the food. So the thickest part, the thickest part of the middle portion of the food has to reach, the temperature has to reach in that area, in that core area, so that the temperature is got in all the surrounding places. It's not like that seeing a temperature at only in a gravy, watery thing is not a core temperature. Core temperature has to be seen in a thickest part of the food, middle portion of the thickest part of the food, not in the water. For example, you have a gravy, chicken gravy, you have a thermometer, you check in the, if you want to check the temperature, you have to check in the thickest part of the flesh, not in the gravy. You understand? So this is called core temperature, core food temperature. So if the core food temperature, as you tell, 75 is not reached, then food poison or the spoilage of food will happen. Worms in food, when the worms, you know, if you open cauliflower, seasonal foods like mango, capsicum, sometimes, majority of times, they will have worms. These worms, if it is not washed, if the vegetables are not washed with chlorine solution, chlorine water, or with hot water, these worms will go along with the food, and guest will catch it and ask us to collect. That will be the highest uncomfortable situation for us. Uncomfortable situation for us. And the guest calls and says that, sir, your food has worms. So will we feel happy or sad? Sad, Lama. Okay. Dusty top racks in store, you know, if they're not cleaned in the top of the racks, dust will be there. That means daily schedule are not taken care. If the daily schedule is not taken care, if the top of the racks are not cleaned, pest will start harboring on those places. If pest comes, they are also living beings, and they will start excrete. So this excretion will have microorganism, which if it gets into the food will again go spoil. Rancid smell in food, oil not changing next day, oil kept open overnight, new oil is mixed with old oil, overeating of oil. All these 4 points will lead to rancid smell of food. Have you anybody got this experience, rancidity? Rancidity. In day-to-day life, when we eat food, we should look the food, smell it, look for color and texture, and smell it for good or bad odor. If it is bad, if it is worst, if it is fully spoiled, it will smell very bad. And if it is, starting spoiling, the main indication is rancidity. It may be due to spoilage or due to maybe because of the oil usage also. Okay. So rancidity is the main parameter in snacks industry, like Haldiram's, Kurkure, Lays or coming na packet foods. Those are fried in oil. So when the oil is overheated or not properly handled, the food, the Lays food or the Kurkure will start giving rancid smell. Even in buses they sell peanuts. These people will never have the knowledge how to handle the oil. So when we take cashew or peanuts, it will have some off taste. These are because of over usage of oil or improper method of keeping oil. The oil always should be kept closed. It should not be kept open, because it will take the oxygen from the atmosphere and oxidation will happen. Soon the oxidation happen, it will start giving smell. Even flour, maida, wheat also sometimes goes rancid. So fishy smell in water, that's Mr. Binu was telling 3 method of washing sink. In that sink, if the detergent is not used, chlorine is not used, hot water is not used, the smell of food, we are washing the equipment or glass or plates after the guest takes the food. It will go to the plate washing area where they will wash the plate using detergent, hot water, chlorine and dry air. If this is not happening, if cleaning of the plates is not happening properly with using all these things, the plate will start smelling because of not removing of the previously consumed food which is sticking in the plate. Maybe to see the plate will be very clean, but technically speaking, the oil layer, maybe the food layer will be sticking still even after the washing. After drying for 2-3 hours, it will start smelling. So when customer take food, it may give a fishy smell in the water glass or in the plate, or this will cause food poison. And using a same mixie jar for juice and making ginger garlic paste will cause smell of ginger garlic in a juice or milkshake. Blood smell in juice, ice stored in non-veg freezer. Ice cubes is used for putting in the juices. If this ice cube is stored along with non-veg is, it's blood stained. Ice is like a ready to eat food. It has not got any washing procedure. It has got no heating procedure or no preservative procedure. It will be taken and directly put into the juice and it will served to the customer. So when these ice cubes are stored with the non-veg freezer along with the non-veg, it will take the odor of the non-veg. See, remember one point. Whenever the food is stored along with any type of food, it will start observing the neighbor stored food. So if see, for example, if you take a flower, jasmine flower, and put it in your fridge available in your house, and see how the fridge smells. The food, but whatever kept in the fridge or freezer, it will give the smell of the jasmine. Same thing, if the ice is put into the non-veg freezer, it will absorb the odor of the non-veg freezer, and when the guest drink juices, it will give the blood smell or fish smell, or anything can happen to the chicken pieces in veg salad. Cutting board and knife color code not followed. Cut vegetables stored in non-veg freezer. Slimy layer in mixie, bottom of the mixie is not used. Black patches in exhaust hose. Deep cleaning is not done. Deep cleaning is a method of sanitation which is recommended weekly once for all the equipments, for all the food contact places. Rust on reverse side of the cutting tables. Deep cleaning is not done. Foul smelling cloth, unwashed cloth. These are the reasons. I just want to tell you, chicken pieces in veg salad. Cutting board and knife color code are not followed. As somebody told, sir, cutting board veg non-veg if it is not followed, the person who handled knife or cutting board for chicken or mutton or fish, if the same person uses the same cutting board for cutting vegetables or making salad, the non-veg pieces will go into the salads. Cut vegetables stored in non-veg freezer. If after cutting salads, if it is stored inside the in a non-veg freezer, sometimes what happens, the non-veg pieces may fall in the cut vegetables, and it may cause food spoilage and may customer get a bad experience. Hope I think I covered your troubleshooting manual. I just want to share my experience with you, saying that microbiology is not only laboratory work. It is something, we need to work along with the team present in the unit. So this is
Sir, I have a doubt, sir.
yeah, tell me.
So in the core temperature, you have explained about cooked foods, right? So what is the core temperature for the uncooked foods, sir?
Any food, any food. For example, if you are going and want to check a temperature of a food stored in a freezer, okay. First you will be seeing the temperature indication, whether it is saying -10 or -18. Then what you will do is, let me cross check that what is the food temperature, because this is showing -18. Let me check what is the actual food temperature. Uh, you will going inside the walk-in cold room, and you will pierce the thermometer, or may also use the uh, laser gun. But laser gun, is not recommended for core temperature things. It is for surface temperature monitoring only. But to see the core temperature, it may be a raw or cooked. It should always seen at the thickest part of the middle portion of the food. Good question.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
வேற யாராவது இருக்காங்களா? No doubts? No doubts? No doubts?
No doubt, sir.
Shall we எல்லாம் அந்த இது எழுதிட்டீங்களா? Have you written this food safety quiz? Have you wrote? I think you have all computed. நித்யஸ்ரீ முடிச்சிட்டீங்களா? Nityashree, have you completed? Whoever completed now, they will get the certificate. I think 8 people has completed.
சார் ஃபீட்பேக் ஃபார்ம் ஒன்று அமிச்சிங்க, அது வெறும் லிங்க் இந்த 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 கால் லிங்க் தான் வருது, அதுக்கு என்ன பண்றது?
Google link அனுப்பிச்சதா?
ஜூம் லிங்க் தான் வருது சார் நீங்க அமிச்ச ஃபீட்பேக் ஃபார்ம்ல.
உடனே அனுப்புறேன். வாட்ஸ்அப் பண்ணிருக்கேன் பாருங்க குரூப்ல. Just open and see. You got it?
எஸ் சார், வந்துருச்சு.
You all written now. The exam எழுதிட்டீங்களா? Have you all wrote that exam? MCQ submit பண்ணியாச்சா?
No, sir, I'll have to do it, sir.
Okay.
அந்த குவிஸ் தானே சார்?
Yes.
பண்ணியாச்சு சார்.
பண்ணிட்டீங்களா? Yes, so first வந்து frozen, you know that -18. So second, you know, it is C. Third, foodborne disease can cause death. A. But, keeping raw
இந்த
food.
ஃபீட்பேக் ஃபார்ம்ல சார், இந்த ஃபீட்பேக் ஃபார்ம்ல ட்ரெயினி ஐடின்னு ஒன்று கேட்குது, அது வந்து அந்த லாகின் ஐடி தானே சார்?
Login ID நீங்க அந்த இது T வந்திருக்கா தானே?
டி சம்திங்
Yeah,
வரும்.
correct. So
Okay,
and
sir.
unique student unique ID வந்து BCA COVID வரும்ல?
எஸ் சார், அதுதான். ஓகே சார்.
So fourth, keeping raw and cooked food separate. This is A. Fifth is B. Sixth is A. Seventh is B. Eighth is B. Ninth is B. 10th is A. 11th B. 12th B. 13th A. 14th B. 15th A. 16th A. 17th A. 18th B. 19th B. எல்லாம் சப்மிட் பண்ணிட்டீங்களா? Once you submit now, we will close the session. If you have any doubts also, you can ask. Once you complete, na, we'll wind up. Jabran?
Sir,
Yeah, complete பண்ணிட்டியாப்பா?
sir, பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன் sir.
Okay. யார் இருக்கா? Vashni has finished. Vinisha, Swati, Arun Kumar has finished. Vashni has finished. Gayatri, Haritra. Arun? Arun?
Yes, sir.
I think you have submitted, no?
ஃபீட்பேக்கும் முடிச்சிட்டேன் சார்.
முடிச்சிட்டீங்க. இது கொஸ்டின் சப்மிட் பண்ணிட்டீங்கல்ல?
முடிச்சிட்டேன் சார்.
You can leave the room, no problem.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. We'll be in touch, ma. So we'll have soon. We'll be going to have internal auditor course or ASAP courses we are planning. Once we plan, we'll let you know. Yeah, Arun Kumar, you can.
Okay, sir.
Vinisha is there? Swati is there?
Yes, sir.
You have finished the quiz. You have finished the feedback
I've
form.
finished the quiz, sir, but I'm doing my
Pardon?
feedback form. I'm doing my feedback form,
Yeah,
sir.
submit.
I
Once
finished the quiz. Okay.
feedback முடிச்சிட்டீங்கன்னா நீங்க you can leave it now.
Okay, sir.
Subhashni? Subhashni?
Sir?
Yeah. So finish this quiz MCQ. Then you have finished the Google form, feedback.
இல்ல சார் ஃபார்ம் ஃபில் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன் சார்.
Fill பண்ணிட்டீங்கன்னா you can leave the room.
ஓகே சார்.
Yeah. Submit பண்ணிட்டீங்களா? இல்ல.
இல்ல சார். ட்ரெயினிங் ஐடி என்ன சார் போட்டு?
ட்ரைனிங் ஐடி
சார்
TE அப்படின்னு ஒரு ஸ்டார்ட் ஆகும்ல? TE
எங்க சார் வருது?
உங்களுக்கு நான் அனுப்பிச்சிருக்கேன் சார்.
ஃபார்ம் இருக்கா சார்?
இல்ல.
ஓகே சார்.
Yeah. So Shalini Devi.
Sir?
You wrote MCQ and finished. Have you finished this feedback form?
Sir?
Have you finished feedback form? Feedback form முடிச்சிட்டீங்களா?
I have completed MCQ, sir. Form fill பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன் சார். Feedback. No, sir.
Gayatri?
இல்ல சார், அது முடிக்கல சார்.
Gayatri. Not there. Haritra is there. Haritra TS.
Sir, I finished the form, sir. Feedback fill பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன்.
Okay. Kausalya,
Sir, I finished the feedback form, sir.
good. You can do Martin.
Okay,
Satya?
sir. Thank you.
Satya,
ஃபீட்பேக் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன் சார்.
சார் ஃபீட்பேக் ஃபில் பண்ணிட்டேன் சார்.
okay. Satyava,
இல்ல நித்யா.
Nitya. Nityashree இல்ல நீங்க?
ஆமா சார்.
You are working, ma?
No sir, I am not working sir. I am a student sir.
Where? DJ Vaishnava.
MGR Janaki College sir, MSc.
Okay. Vidya student, huh?
Yes sir.
Okay. Ma'am, let me சொல்லுங்க. ஃபார்ம் முடிச்சிங்களாமா? கூகுள் ஃபார்ம்.
அது இன்னும் முடிக்கல சார், தான் முடிக்கிறேன் சார்.
Sir, feedback form fill பண்ணிட்டேன் sir.
யாரு?
ஹரித்ரா.
யா. ஓகே மா. MCQ ஃபில் பண்ணிட்டீங்க, இது பண்ணிட்டீங்க. யா.
பண்ணிட்டேன் sir.
ஓகே மா.
Okay, thank you
You
sir.
are Wales சொன்னீங்க.
Sir, என்ன sir?
You are studying Wales University?
DG Vaishnav College sir.
Okay.
Thank you sir.
சார் இது ட்ரைனிங் ஐடி என்ன சார் கொடுக்கணும்? ஆமா சார்.
இதுனா அது முதல்ல T சொல்லி ஸ்டார்ட் ஆகுதுங்க. யூசர் ஐடி பாஸ்வேர்ட் சொல்லி அனுப்புனேன்.
ஆமா சார்.
அதுதான்
சார் அது கொடுக்காம சப்மிட் பண்ணிட்டேன் சார் தெரியாம. சொல்லுங்க சார்.
சொல்றதுக்கு இல்ல. See whether I can edit.
சார் கேக்கல சார்.
பார்க்கலாமா? நான் எடிட் பண்ண முடியுமா?
சொல்லுங்க சார்.
ஃபீட்பேக் ஃபார்ம் தானே பண்ணிட்டீங்களா?
ஆமா சார். ஆமா சார்.
பண்ணலையே ஜப்ரான்.
சார் இப்பதான் சார் பண்ணேன்.
இங்க வரலமா?
அப்படியா சார்?
வரலமா? இன்னையில ஐ திங்க் சார்
சார் ஃபில் பண்ணிட்டேன் சார்.
Sir, form fill பண்ணிட்டேன் sir and MCQ is also over sir.
Sure.
Yes sir.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay. You are there,
Thank you sir. Yes ma'am. Sir, I'm from Wales.
Sir,
சார் ஃபில் பண்ணிட்டு சார்.
சொல்லுங்க. யாரு?
sir, form fill பண்ணிட்டேன் sir.
யாரு?
MCQ முடிஞ்சிச்சு sir.
யாரு?
Sir,
யார் பேசுறீங்க?
Subhashni sir.
ஓகேம்மா. ஓகே, தேங்க்ஸ்.
Okay sir, thank you sir.
ஃபில் பண்ணிட்டு சார்.
இன்னொரு வாட்டி ஃபில் பண்றீங்களா? அதுக்கப்புறம் ஃபீட்பேக் ஃபார்ம் தானே?
சார்
ஃபீட்பேக் ஃபார்ம் தானே?
ஆமா சார், பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன் சார். ஆமா சார்.
சரி, ஓகே ஓகே ஓகே.
Sir, என்னோட feedback from last week submit பண்ணது முன்னாடி submit ஆயிடுச்சு sir. Repeat பண்ணவா இல்ல விட்டுவா sir?
ரிப்பீட் பண்ணுங்க. ஃபீட்பேக் ஃபார்ம் தானே, ரிப்பீட் பண்ணலாம். ஒண்ணும் பிரச்சனை இல்லை.
Okay sir, okay repeat பண்ணிடுறேன் sir.
நித்யஸ்ரீயா?
Sir,
யா.
ரெண்டுமே fill பண்ணிட்டேன் sir.
யாருமா?
சத்யா,
சத்யா. ஓகேம்மா, தேங்க்ஸ். யூ ஆர் ஃப்ரம் பிஜி விஷ்ணுவா?
Wales University sir.
Wales.
Yes
You
sir.
saw me that day when I came, correct?
Yes sir, I saw you.
சார் வசந்த் ஃபில் பண்ணிட்டு சார் ரெண்டுமே.
யார் பேசுறீங்க?
வசந்த்.
வசந்த் பண்ணிட்டீங்களா சார்?
எஸ் சார், வந்துச்சு சார்.
Which college was வசந்த் you are?
வெயில்ஸ் சார், வெயில்ஸ் யூனிவர்சிட்டி.
நாங்க வருவோம், பாத்தீங்களா நீங்க? இருந்தீங்களா?
பார்த்தேன் சார்.
ஓகே ஓகே.
எஸ் இருந்தேன் சார். ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஓடி நான் சார்.
என்ன புரியல?
ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஓடி நான் தான் சார் இருந்தேன்.
ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ரோல் நீங்க தான் இருந்தீங்களா?
எஸ் சார், எஸ் சார்.
ஓகே ஓகே ஓகே. சிரிச்சிட்டே இருந்தீங்களா அவரா?
சார்
சிரிச்சிட்டே இருந்தீங்களா அவரா ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ரோல்ல?
தெரியலையே சார், ரொம்பலாம் சிரிக்கல சார். ஆனால்
நான் ஞாபகம் வச்ச வரைக்கும் சிரிச்சிருக்கேன் அவர்கிட்ட. அப்பனா பாத்துங்க.
நான் ரைட் கார்னர்ல உட்காந்துருந்தேன் சார்.
கரெக்ட். கொஞ்சம் ஃபேட்டா இருப்பீங்க.
எஸ் சார், எஸ் சார்.
நீங்க தான் உங்களை தான் நான் எக்ஸாக்டா இருக்கேன். ஓகேம்மா.
சார் ஃபில் பண்ணிட்டு வந்துச்சு சாருங்க.
யா, என்ன வந்துருக்கா? வசந்த் ஃபீட்பேக் வந்துருச்சு. ஆல்சோ வசந்த் வந்துருச்சுமா.
ஓகே, தேங்க்யூ சார்.
நல்லா பண்ணிருக்கீங்களா?
பண்ணிருக்கேன் சார்.
ஓகே, தேங்க்ஸ். I request one thing. யார் இருப்பீங்களோ, I will also put my in the group April 12th batch fast trackல. Can you please rate my session in 1 to 10 scale? Just give me in WhatsApp itself. Okay. Hello.
Sir, feedback.
யாரு? ஹலோ ஹலோ.
Sir, feedback resubmit பண்ணிட்டேன் sir.
யா, ஓகேமா.
Thank you sir.
நீங்க குரூப்ல இருக்கீங்க, வாட்ஸ்அப் குரூப்ல.
Sir.
இப்போ என்னோட செஷன் நீங்க அட்டெண்ட் பண்ணீங்க இல்லையா?
எனக்கு இருக்கு.
ஹலோ
ஹலோ sir.
என்னோட செஷன் அட்டெண்ட் பண்ணீங்களா? அது 1 to 10 ஸ்கேல்ல ரேட் பண்ணுங்க.
Okay sir. Thank you sir.
Thank you.
சார் குவிஸும் ஃபீட்பேக்கும் சப்மிட் பண்ணிட்டேன் சார்.
நித்யஸ்ரீ, okay.